Good morning. Hello. Welcome in. It is August 11th, 8:41 in the morning. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad to be here today. Today is going to be an amazing day. I believe in you. You're going to be an amazing person today. I believe if you're listening to this and you're my audience, you are not a piece of garbage. Just joking. Oh, can't see my face? There we go. There we go. There we go. There I am. Hello. Had a little lag with the video. That's okay. We're live and we're recording. August is... I felt like we just entered August yesterday, and it's already the 11th. Excuse me. Hello and welcome in. Sorry guys, hold on one second. Making sure we're good here because I'm having a little bit of issues. All right, we're good. I'm so glad you're here today. Today's going to be a great day. Today I'm going to get shadow banned. It's probably a fact. This episode is going to be, I'm going to talk about some stuff that people have brought up to me. People have been saying I should talk about this specific subject today. Just because I do have experience in this subject. I do have a lot of knowledge in this subject for a lot of different reasons. I've touched on it before. We're not going to talk about, like, the main focus today is not going to be COVID. Even though it might think, like, there is no logic in COVID today. The title of the live show today, although it might be different on the podcast, is anyone using logic? Again, I don't have a script. I don't rehearse. Like today, I didn't even have time to, like, sometimes I say out loud what I'm going to say just to make sure it makes sense. I didn't even have time to do that today. So this is all raw. It's all going to be not off the cuff. It's something that I think about and I talk about a lot. It's going to be something that is unpopular for the progressive side, okay? But I don't care, because if you disagree with what I am saying, you have zero logic and you have zero common sense. So in order to combat this shadow ban that is going to be coming, I'm going to need y'all to hit that like button, hit that share, comment, say hello, wave into the chat. Also, if you say hello in the chat, I will see it. And you can also chime in the conversation. That's the whole point of this live show. I might change the name to live podcast, although I like JJ's live show. I feel like I can do more with that, with the name. I feel like it's a little bit more catchy, because this is a live show. It's a podcast in a live show format. What does that mean, John? Well, I'll tell you what it means. It means that we're going to talk about a lot of things on this show. I'm going to have guests. I've been saying that since the inception of the show, which has been about 2.5 weeks, but we will have guests. Okay. And when we have guests, we're going to be talking about some stuff and collaborating on stuff. But you, the audience, can participate. You, the audience, can directly intervene and join the conversation. That's right. It's a podcast that everyone gets involved in. So if you're listening on the Spotify right now, make sure you tune in when we're live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. When you subscribe to whatever platform, make sure you get the live notifications, because I don't go live at the exact same time. However, I try to make it like in the morning around the same time. Like it's 8:45 right now. Yesterday, I don't think I went live until 8:45, but we're already up and going. It's 8:45, so I mean, other times like 8:15. It kind of just depends. I woke up really sluggish this morning. I'm super tired. Did not sleep very good again last night. Hashtag story of my life. But a lot of things involving specifically the Olympics. The first ever transgender athlete competed in the Olympics and athletics in general. Okay. I have one clip queued up, the recent clip that somebody shared with me. I had to make sure that I can play it. It's just a video of somebody else's video. It's not, I'm not allowed to use like the NCAA feed, so I had to find a clip of somebody in the crowd. So the clip's only 10 seconds and doesn't even show the whole race. It's a video of a transgender male, like what do you call that? Like male to female, however you say that, competing in a women's hurdles event. I believe it's the 110 hurdles. And he just absolutely dominates the field. I'm gonna pull it up here in a second, but I just want to be clear that I'm not saying all this to be anti-trans or anti-gay or anti-whatever. Okay, all this is about logic and how we need to go forth in dealing with transgender being involved with sports. I see that the feed on Facebook is getting messed up here. I need Facebook to get their act together. There's people who make money, not me. There's people who make a living on this platform, and the servers have been just absolutely dog water. I'm gonna wait for the connection to catch back up because we're really pixelated right now. So I'm gonna keep, before I show the video, I don't want to show the video messed up because the video is already low res as it is. There's just been, I get the progressive side of wanting to make sure everybody's involved and whatever, but there's got to be a line. You can't blindly go into every topic of anything, whether we're talking about sports, like work fields, career fields, as in like military or like working in, working in offices. You can't go about it with the same like narrative, okay? Because that's what it is. You're blindly following your ideology of what you view how the world should work. What do I mean by that? If you are someone who is actively fighting for trans rights, you need to understand that there is a line where not everybody is going to agree with you, and it makes no sense. And what you say to defend it actually ruins your platform. It actually ruins your it ruins your basis of arguments for every topic. Okay, because we can say like transgender people need the rights to do X, Y, and Z, but then you say they need that it's the same that goes into sports. And because your logic of how transgender people compete in sports makes absolutely no sense, it actually ruins your platform and it ruins what you're trying to do. Listen, I want everybody to be treated equally. I want everybody to be able to have the freedoms to do what they want, especially here in America and in every country. I don't believe that the government should be able to tell you what to do. I don't think that there's room for us other adults telling some adults how to live their life. Okay? So, if you are arguing, if you're trying to fight for transgender rights, you need to understand how to do it effectively. Okay? Because you're not going to come into my wheelhouse, athletics, or the military. You're not going to come into, let's say Joe Rogan's been ostracized plenty of times for this, talking about transgender people fighting in MMA. You're not going to go into his wheelhouse and argue that transgender male to female should fight other females. Okay? It's just not going to happen. You're going to have a rough go of it. There's never going to be, then what happens is that because you are essentially fighting a losing battle, you are ruining your reputation. I am trying to give these servers a chance to catch up. Let's check and see if it's my internet connection. Maybe for once it actually is maybe it is my fault. I'm gonna go to, that's a good, so just so you guys know, if you ever have an issue with the internet, if you go to Google, you go to Google and you go to the search bar and type in speed test. I found this speed test to be pretty reliable, somewhat accurate. Oh, I'm not in Google, sorry. Go to Google, google.com. Go to google.com. I'm gonna make the screen small so you guys can see it, see what I'm working with here. Go to Google. And then you type in speed test, and that's it. At the top, there's going to be a speed test. You say run speed test. And as you can see by my internet speed, 100% not me. The screen is probably all pixelated and is probably all jacked up. Oh, my upload speed's terrible. Maybe it is my fault. I'm gonna hit test again. Come on. All right. This maybe it's because they're sensing that I'm about to talk about something that people don't want me to talk about today. I'm telling you, the internet is all knowing. The internet is all wise. The internet is undefeated. I think we're back. We're live still. Sorry if you're listening to the podcast. This probably sounds like a complete mess. I'm doing my best here. So I'm going to try to show this video. If you go to, I'm just going to show it to show the differences in a male competing in a female sport. Okay? Because although this person identifies as female, you can see in their stature, you can see in their athletic ability that they are definitely not on the same field as their peers that they claim to be on. They're definitely not on the same plane as other females. All right, let's pull up I'm gonna pull up screen only. You're not gonna see my face. We're gonna just watch the video. If you're listening on the podcast, feel free to just Google CC Telfer dominates women's NCAA. It's NCAA hurdles, and you can actually pull it up on your own, and you can actually see maybe the actual TV feed. This is just a video of somebody else on YouTube. Let's take a look. Out the gate, just absolutely, you can see here in the last frame of this video. This video doesn't show the whole race. You can see in this last frame right here that look at that distance. This looks like a high schooler running against middle schoolers. Look at that distance that they're ahead. It's really not even close. It like saddens me to know that there's female athletes who dedicate their lives to their craft, and that they are getting cheated out of fair competition. If there was a female taking testosterone or doing steroids, she'd be banned. So how is it that a male can be a male for however many years, and then all of a sudden claim to be a female, and that is considered fair competition? Look at that gap. The gap is about, for those who are just listening, the gap is about probably, I'd say, 10 feet, and they're only on the third hurdle. The servers are having issues. Thank you for being patient. Maybe it'll fix itself. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe it's because they sensed that today I was about to make some people upset, and the internet was trying to protect its viewers. Okay, so this is just one example. Okay, we all know the story of I do not remember her name, but if you were to just look, if you are come on to like just type in transgender male competing in sports, you find all these articles, you find all these multiple events, and it saddens me. You find a pair of transgender males competing in women's track in high school, and they just absolutely dominate. They break the records. We had a MMA fighter who was a male for almost 30 years and then fight a female who has been a female all of her life and didn't disclose it, and he bashed her skull in. It's just, it doesn't make any sense. Again, I'm saying all this if you're just joining in the live or if you fast forward in the podcast at any point. I'm not anti-transgender. I'm going to say this over and again so nobody can soundbite. I'm not anti you being transgender. I'm not anti somebody being gay. I'm not anti this or anti that. I'm saying we have to use logic, and the people who are fighting for trans rights, they also have to use logic, and you have to understand that if you come into somebody else's wheelhouse in which they're an expert in, then you are going to lose credibility in your argument, and that you're saying that a transgender male can compete in women's sports. You are an idiot. You are. You're an idiot. You're arrogant, and you might try to call me a bigot. I'm sure there are more people who won't say this on the internet that are on my side than the loud people on the internet that are on your side. Almost sure of it. I was, during the entire time of the Olympics, I said over and over again, I never wish athletes to fail. I don't want athletes to, like, I am gonna like, if I have like the person I'm rooting for against the person, the team that I'm rooting for against the team that, like if the team I'm rooting for is playing a team that I don't want to win, like I'm gonna root for my team to win. I'm not gonna root for the other team to fail. I want the person or the team that I'm rooting for to triumph overall, right? I don't want them to win because the other team had like starting player get hurt or they just had a bad game. If my Dallas Cowboys go to the Super Bowl, I want them to face the best team, and I want them to win the Super Bowl at their best. I don't want the Super Bowl opponent of my Dallas Cowboys, like when my Dallas Cowboys make it to the Super Bowl this year, they're gonna make it to the Super Bowl. We them boys. I don't want them to face a subpar opponent. I want them to face an opponent at their prime, at their best. I don't want weather to take in a factor. I don't want outside circumstances taking a factor. If the Cowboys play Tampa, be at its best. I want the O-line to all be healthy. I don't want there to be any doubt that my team won based on circumstances. Does that make sense? So it truly saddens me when I see people wishing athletes to fail. However, there is one time that I wish an athlete would fail, and that was this Olympics. Probably the day after I talked about I want athletes to fail, I backtracked and I wished this athlete would fail. The transgender weightlifter from New Zealand. It was New Zealand, right? New Zealand. It was a male that transitioned to female. So she had the surgery. I'm trying to find out the name. I didn't have this queued up. Like I said, I don't queue up. I don't write a script before any show. I don't Google anything. I mean, I Google some stuff, but I don't like write a script. I might prepare some things together. Sometimes I just rant. Today is mostly just a rant. Today is pretty much off the cuff. I don't have that much prepared. I just had that one clip. Listen, the internet's being buggy today, and just so happens to be the day that I'm going to be talking about some ish. Okay, so thanks for powering through. If you're watching on Twitch or on YouTube or on Facebook, just wave at me. Say hello. I appreciate you guys stopping by. I really do. I appreciate anybody who watches the show. Make sure we fight through the shadow ban that's about to come forth. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube, you know, Twitch, Facebook, whatever you want to watch on. Make sure you like, comment, and share. All that stuff. Okay, so this New Zealand weightlifter, Laurel Hubbard. I forgot her name. She was a male for, I think over 30 years and then transitioned to female. And passed all the rules saying that she could compete in females weightlifting. However, I do not agree with these rules, and a lot of people don't. You're cheating athletes you're cheating the female athletes who have competed fairly, who have put in years of their life, who've put in years of dedication into their craft, and quite frankly, years that they won't ever get back. For a once in a lifetime opportunity to compete in the Olympics, and you have this male that transitioned to a female who's had testosterone pumping through their body, pumping through their bones for 30 years, is able to compete. This is the only athlete I wish to fail. I'm glad she did. She scratched all of her lifts, didn't even place. She was out on the first day. I'm glad. I'm glad through no forces of my own, the integrity of the sport was kept intact by the failure of this athlete. That's different. I didn't want her to get hurt. I didn't want her to embarrass herself. I just wish she just scratched off her lifts because she's a weightlifter. She's an Olympic weightlifter. And she did. She scratched all of her lifts. I think she completed 0 lifts. Last I checked, I'm not going to Google that right now. Feel free to search it on your own. Come prove me wrong. If you disagree with me, feel free to hit the dislike button. Feel free to comment, talk trash to me. Feel free to call me a bigot. I really want to know if there's anybody who thinks that I'm talking out of my ass. I mean, technically, I kind of am because I didn't write a script. But I want you guys to know something. Okay, we're gonna look up the world record women's 200 meter dash. The world record, okay, it said for the 100. It's pulling up the 100 for some reason. I don't know why. The current record for the women's 100 is a 10.49 seconds. Okay, and then the world's record for women's for the 200 is 21.34. Now we're going to go over here. We're going to go high school boy 100 meter, and we're just going to type in champion. Or times. 100 meter. Let's type in champion. High school boys 100-meter champion. So on May 12, 2019, Matthew Bowling set the national high school record when he ran a 100 meters race in 10.13 seconds during the Texas Class 6A state championship event on Saturday. Okay. So remember that time, a high schooler, a boy, set the record for high school at 10.13 seconds. The fastest female of all time in the 100 meter of all time, fastest female ever on record in the 100 meter dash, ran a 10.49 seconds. That sounds close. That's about 5/100ths of a second. Or sorry, 5/10ths of a second, about a half a second. That sounds close. But in a 100-meter dash, on a race on foot, that's not close. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not close. Okay? I'm going to say those times again. Matthew Bowling, high schooler, ran a 10.13. Fastest woman of all time, ran a 10.49. There are several. I was just pulling up the photo point. Same thing with the 200. If I find it, it'll be the same way. The thing is what I was bringing up. There are several high school boys. Also, I'm not saying this to dog women. It's just this is facts. Okay, women are biologically better at some things than males, and males are biologically better than some things that females. One of the things that males are better than females are at are just athletics. Period. It's just how it goes. Bone density, muscle strength, muscle mass, all of it. Broadness of shoulders, shape of the hips. I think it's actually not the shape of the hips. It's more of like the way the hips are not shaped, but like how. I mean, I guess it's the basically the shape of the hips. There are several high school boys that will just absolutely, that would set world records or beat world records for women's track events every year. Dozens, maybe even hundreds. It's probably hundreds, to be honest. There's a lot of high school track athletes. Okay. So if you're going to sit here and tell me that a person, even if they were a man until they were 20 and didn't compete in a female's track event until they were 30, that's 10 years, that's not fair. Still not fair. In my eyes, there's no argument. But to some people, it is logical for them to argue that, to argue for transgender competing in female sports. And I'm going to say this again. You don't have logic, and you sound like an idiot. Some people are going to come and say that I sound like an idiot. I'm going to challenge to this, to anybody who disagrees with my point. I'm going to give you the Facebook, JJ's Live Show. I'm going to give you the YouTube, it's JJ's Live Show. And I'll give you the Twitch, JJ's Live Show. Come on there, comment, dislike, slander me on Twitter. I don't have a Twitter. Go ahead. Bring it up. Soundbite it. Go ahead. Comment. Tell me how much of a bigot I am. I'll show you. I'll just start sending you clips. I'll just start tagging you in videos of transgender men dominating female sports. Look, am I saying I'm faster than these women who run the 100 or 200 meters? No. I'm definitely faster than some of them, but I'm not like, I don't think I would beat the world record for women's in the 100-meter dash. But am I going to compete against females? No, I don't compare myself to females. I don't have to. I play male sports. I ran track in high school. I played football in high school. I play football now in college. I played rugby in high school. I played rugby for the Marine Corps all around the world. You know how many times I competed against females? 0 times. The only time that men and women compete against each other fairly would be things like academia. Would be things like curling, would be things like uh freaking cornhole. Uh, I am going to not say shooting. Depends on what kind of shooting events there it is. So I don't think women should compete against each. I don't think men and women should compete against each other in shooting because there's a lot of different types of shooting events, and it depends on what kind of shooting event you're talking about. If it's stagnant, like static precision rifle shooting at different yard lines where you're not moving, everybody's in the same shooting conditions, everybody's shooting at the same time, then I would say that that might be a fair playing field for women and men to compete against each other. But any type of shooting event that requires movement or moving targets or three gun or maybe skeet shooting, any shooting event that requires somebody to handle the weapon system as well as handle their body in a way that involves any sorts of movement, that is not a level playing field. But if we're talking about stagnant shooting, just at a yard line, precision shooting competitions, where they can lay in the prone, I would say that's fair. But other than that, other than academia and the situation I just described, women and men should not compete against each other in anything that's like competitive. Also, like in business, that I'm not. Business is a different kind of competition, but the academia, men and women can compete, and in certain types of shooting competitions. If you think of another thing that would be a fair playing field for men and women to compete in, feel free to drop it in. Let's get these conversations started. Let's get these wheels spinning. But I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. Oh, um, curling and what was the other one? Cornhole. Shooting, academia, curling, cornhole. Those are four that I can think of off the top of my head. This is a hill I'll die on. This is something that needs to be that people need to be more rigid in. People need to not just give in to the people who are loud and the people who are trying to manipulate the society to use specific language and to make people feel like they're the bad person for coming against a topic like this. Like, people who are gonna come at you like that are bullies, and they should be ashamed that they're trying to take away fairness in sport. One of the few things that we have left in society that remain fully integrous for the most part. Obviously, there is cheaters and there is people who manipulate systems and that kind of thing. But sports is something that, especially as in America, that we can turn to in no matter what time, even in time of war, in time of famine, in time of extreme adversity as far as like economic concerns. Sports is always something. We even figured out a way to have the NBA finals in the midst of a pandemic. We figured out how to have the bubble, and we were able to watch sports. We were able to watch competition and just like forget about simple things in life. It's almost not quite like a drug for sports fans. We throw Super Bowl parties. We throw World Cup parties. We go to Buffalo Wild Wings to watch the fights. I'm talking we as humans. We come together and socialize, and we come together and root on our team or our favorite sports person. We come together to watch amazing athletic feats or amazing human accomplishments. And if you are someone who wants to ruin that, I come against you. I don't wish death upon you. I don't wish harm upon you. I just want you to realize that what you are arguing for is illogical. I never thought that this would have to be something that I'd have to talk about publicly. I like, if you had asked me a couple years ago, even with the all progressive movements, I thought that this would have been a line. Even when we had males going into women's bathrooms, I kind of thought that like that would blow over, but I did not think that this right here, sports, men competing against women, men fighting women in MMA, men running hurdles against women, would be something that I'd have to like to try to verbally combat. I didn't think I'd have to defend simple common sense. I guess it's just something we're losing. I guess it's just something that we I don't even know. Like, I legit, like, my wheels are starting to spin right now. I'm about to just start yelling. It doesn't make any sense. Can someone please drop in the chat and argue against me, please? Like, if there's something to argue against. Like, I want to hear somebody's argument. You know what the crazy thing is? Is I've never met a person that would argue with me to my face about transgender competing against other females. And I live in Southern California. I live in one of the most liberal areas in the country. I live in a place that I live in a place that is very progressive. My phone is blowing. I got 2 people texting me saying that street sweeping today, and I think I'm parked on the wrong side. I'm falling victim to this street sweeping scam. Okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and wrap it up because I think that if I keep going any longer, I'm going to lose a lid. I want to appreciate everybody who's tuned in and listened despite the server issues we're having today. It looks like it cleared up. We've been going strong for about 24 minutes out of the 38. I want to thank everybody who's liked, supported, listened on the podcast, like, you know, Spotify or whatever you're listening on. If you're watching, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you follow. Make sure you comment. Make sure you share. Make sure you hit the dislike button. Make sure you comment and call me a bigot if you disagree with what I'm saying. I never thought I'd have to sit here and defend common sense. I never thought I'd sit here and defend simple logic. But apparently, that's where we're at. In conclusion, some people are idiots. And that's the world we live in. I'm being a little harsh today because I don't know what else to do. I'm lost for words. All right, guys. Hey, little simple reminder. You hear that? That track? I know you like it. A little catchy. Becomes a beat. Yeah. Kind of hits, don't it? Hey, if you like this, make sure you check it out on Spotify and YouTube Music. It's called Streamables. You can use it for your live shows, your podcasts. You can use it for video game streaming. You can use it in Discord. You can use it whatever you want. It's free. What did I say? How much is it? It's free. Spell it out. F-R-E-E. Free to use. Copyright free. That means you can use it for whatever you want to use it for. You have permission from the producers. You have permission from the owners. You use the music, use the tracks, use the beats. Or even if you just want to listen to it and to work to, there's plenty of albums. Check them out on Spotify. If you don't like them, then don't follow. But I promise, some of these tracks are going to catch your ear and you're going to want to get going. You're going to put your head in some books. You're going to put your hand on a keyboard and start typing out a paper. You're going to want to start working. You're going to want to start doing something. So make sure you check out Streamables on Spotify. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully tomorrow we won't have any issues at all with the live stream. So make sure you check out the live show. That's right, live, L-I-V-E, all caps, on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. All right, guys, make sure let's fight against the shadow ban. Have a good day, y'all. Deuce. Hook 'em.